world turns.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Queers and Soaps. I'm joined by my handsome co-host Eric.
Hi.
Today we are, or this episode actually, because it could be anywhere. It could be any time of the day when you're watching this. We are watching episodes between March and April of 1987 with no clear air dates because YouTube. Roll the credits. Okay, so we're starting out in our episode we start actually perfect. The episode we started out with is the end of Beatrice and Brian's wedding. So Eric, you want to take it from here?
Sure. Is this John and Lucinda are being all lovey-dovey, which I'm like not getting used to quite yet because they were just like arguing.
Mm-hmm.
Lucinda says basically like, "Oh, me and you have no secrets together," and they always have secrets. I'm sure, both of
They
them
do, yeah, I'm
especially.
so sure. Every couple in
Um,
hip hop has secrets.
they're getting ready for a shareholders meeting. Lucinda is.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like there's always a meeting around. I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you know exactly what they do or no? I don't know what they
what a
just
shareholders
to,
meeting.
no, like her company. I don't even understand what it is.
So I think this is pre-worldwide. I know this because they don't mention anything about worldwide, which is the company she'll have like for most of the rest of her run. I don't know when that happens though, but
Okay.
I think it's just like a. I think it might be a journalism. Might be something that has to do with
I guess
journalism because I think it's a hybrid of like journalism and business. I don't know.
okay, that makes sense because like she has like the TV lady at one point in the past episode at the wedding. So
Mm-hmm.
um,
She'll actually
and
go
then
to
I know
Andy's school, but no, not
yeah,
Andy. Paul.
Paul. Um, a cop comes and talks to Bob. I didn't get the cop's name. Do you know him? He's the one that asked
Franklin,
out Jessica.
Franklin. I want to say. I remember this. I remember hearing about this character.
His name's Franklin.
The last name's Franklin, so Detective
Okay, like
Franklin.
Detective
I
Franklin,
think
or
his first name is Roy, but I could be also confusing him with his actor's name. like, like,
I
hey,
know
look, I'm willing to admit that I make errors. So
nobody ever says his name. I don't think so. I don't catch it.
yeah, because I remember seeing the guy's name in the credits. I'm like, oh, this is the guy that. Well, spoiler alert, he goes after Jessica, but
Well, yeah,
so
he does in one of these episodes. He asks for a coffee
him
or
and Jessica
something.
become a couple, or or they
Yeah.
go towards becoming a couple. So
Um, we find out that Rick went to the Dominican. I guess he's in hiding for what
yeah,
he
he's
knows.
not. See,
Um, we find out that James and Emily are missing. Did they go off together? Do you know, or do you?
I'm thinking they did. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
Because
I'm
Emily,
it.
Emily seemed to like not be into him like toward the end. So I don't know when that changed. I guess with the episodes we have, we don't see like when they got back
Yeah,
together or whatever. Still
I
an
wonder.
ick couple. Bleh.
I wonder if like when she comes back, she's going to be Melanie Smith.
She probably will be. That's when they usually
Yeah.
do that. And apparently they're on the run. So I don't know. The cops are chasing them down or something. Throughout these episodes, I feel like they're like, "Here, they're here, they're here, they're here," but like we never see them.
Never see them.
We have a new intern or a new doctor arrives named Taylor.
I keep saying her
Um,
first and last name, but I only remember the first name.
yeah, I think I caught the last name at some point. Oh yeah, she's involved with Casey. Like
Involved with Casey. Yep. Well,
she's
she
asking
was at
questions.
some point involved with Casey, and not currently in this timeline that we're
Yeah, and
watching.
I guess she finds out that Lila and him are an item somehow. But like I
Yeah.
said, we're missing episodes, so
She saw them together. I'm not sure if if that was what hinted that she saw them
hmm,
together at Memorial. So
right. Lila and Casey, they seem like they had like a fight or something. We're not really clear on what. I don't think, because he comes in with like breakfast in bed and he's trying to like make it up to her. I'm still into this couple, so I just like them for some reason.
Yeah. I like them
I
too.
guess that they both seem like good people, and like I guess that's probably why.
Hmm.
Um, Lucinda is mad at Tonio about his divorce. She goes off on him.
Hmm.
This oh yeah, this the divorce is like the same day as this meeting that she's at, so I guess she's
As,
like
yeah,
stressed.
as the board meeting.
Yeah. Sierra thanks Barbara for her affair with Tonio. When she goes to look for like the new maternity clothes, and she's like, let's just get past it, whatever. It really, Barbara like gets it on all ends in these episodes. I feel from all these different people, which I feel like she probably deserves. Um,
I like that.
Sabrina comes up. Oh, go
I
ahead.
like that Barbara's not a good girl and not a bad, like, not a villain either. She's like a
Right.
complex character,
Yeah, she's like in between.
like in between. So like, she can be good when she wants to be, but she can be
Right.
bad when she wants to be.
Because you don't know what you're going to get from her.
Hmm.
Um, Sabrina comes along, and we find out that she's planning on heading to England to I don't think to stay there, but like she just wants to go visit or whatever. I'm not positive of what's happening. Like I said, we're spotty episodes here, people.
Yeah,
So
I know
we
from
don't.
reading the book, she goes there. I'm sure they show her there because like they mentioned
Oh,
somebody.
okay.
They mentioned that she's with somebody, and then she
Okay.
comes back, and then something big happens when she comes back. So
Ooh.
yeah,
Um, John asked Dusty to move in with him, which I feel like he was living with them already.
yeah.
So this must have been before some of the stuff we watched last time. But
Hmm.
like some of it goes together. Like I didn't get confused about it. I was just like I feel like that already happened, but whatever. Like I said, we don't know where these episodes exactly are in order, but I felt like they were consistent. Like it felt like that you knew the storylines and stuff.
Hmm.
Margot mentions that she had already gone to DC to visit Tom,
Hmm.
um, and I guess he's been gone for 2 months. I put 2 months
Hmm.
already, so look how fast that was. It was from the
Yeah,
last time we were talking about it.
yeah. Because like I think he leave. Didn't he leave like the end of January?
Yeah, I want to say like
Yeah,
just somewhere in January, and now we're in like March, April.
or March, April. Yep.
Um, so we find the Sierra and Antonio are officially divorced finally after all this talk and yelling
Yay!
at each other. Lucinda's excited. Her meeting went well. John talks to Dusty about Rosa being civil to him. That cracked me up.
That was good. That was
Of course, we didn't see Rosa in here, but I thought it would have been more funny though, like if like Rosa always like was mean to him, but Lucinda like loves her or something.
good.
But they don't really go into any of that much.
No, they don't.
Sabrina pretty much got like a makeover to
To
like
look
go
more like
back to
Franny.
London. What's that?
To look more like Franny.
Yikes. Margot and John talk. He wants her to be a part of. Oh yeah, because they're still like on the outs, and they actually talk. So I guess that's a step forward.
Mhm.
um, but like he's like, I want you to be a part of my new life with Lucinda and all this, and she's like, yeah, not yet, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
no. He's like, yeah, maybe, no, I don't
But
know.
again, she talked to him, and she wasn't
Yeah.
mean to him.
Mhm.
She was just like, whatever. I think she's just like, you're my dad, and I got to deal with this bullshit that you
Mhm.
do. Um, Casey tries to make it up to Lila. Um, we find out
Bed and
Emily and
breakfast?
James. Huh?
Was that when he had the bed and breakfast?
Well, he did that, but he was saying it later on too. He mentioned it, I guess, because I wrote it. I was like, but yeah, he did the bed and breakfast, and then he was like at the hospital or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
we find out. I wasn't sure if they said that Emily and James were busted in Mexico or just found in Mexico. But
So
somebody,
I
the
think this might
detective
go into.
dude.
So I watched the episodes a little in a different order, and this is when it makes sense that it turns out it wasn't them.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Lucinda talks to Tonio about the divorce. Craig talks to her, wants Lucinda to keep Tonio away from Sierra,
Mhm.
and tells her he is hanging with Meg. That's
Mhm.
another ick couple.
Mhm.
They like ick couples back then. That's all I got for that random episode that we don't know the air date.
Yeah.
So yeah, March 20th, 1987. We do have that date. Wedding aftermath.
Mhm.
Craig asks Sierra to dance. They talk about Tonio. Tonio visits Mrs. Breyer about Martin Guest. He's trying to get deeper, so he has something against Lucinda, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, John yells at Lucinda. She pushes them into the tub. This is where I was confused because, like, the episode we just watched, they were all lovey dovey. So when did that? You know what I mean?
The
Like,
wedding happened in this episode, but we didn't see it.
right? But like that one episode that we watched, was that before they were together? I'm so
No, the one
confused
episode
with
we
that.
watched, they were together. The 24 episode that's in there,
Right?
they were
They were,
together. They were already
but then
married at this point. They've been married for like a while, I guess.
so then that means that whatever's happening in March 20th, they're not together yet.
They're not together yet, but they will be together by the end of the episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have Lisa and Brian talk about Martin's suicide, and was that it was Martin Brian's dad?
Martin is Lily's stepfather and Lucinda's ex-husband. Martin Guess.
But he's not Brian's dad because I thought somebody said
No.
somebody
So
related to
yes, I
Brian.
thought she was married. I think I'm thinking of Lisa. She was married to a McCall, Brian's
Okay.
dad, but I don't know what happened. I think he might have died, but I'm not 100% sure.
Um, Shannon gives like the gift of their dog going with them on their honeymoon, or did I misunderstand that?
No, no, no. You didn't misunderstand that. That was
Okay. Um, Lisa tells Earl about her plan to find out about Martin's suicide.
mhm,
This is where John pulls Lucinda in the tub with him.
mhm.
Um, Everyone's heading to Mona Lisa's again. Craig, Meg,
Oh,
Lila,
everyone's in there.
Casey, Shannon, Earl, Dusty, Betsy, Sierra, and Rod. Um, Everybody's there. It's I guess just one of those like interaction moments because I don't think anything major happened there. Um, Mrs. Breyer seems upset when she's getting questioned by Tonio. She looks old and confused.
Mhm.
She remembers Clifford talking about Martin a few days before he died.
Mm.
So I feel like I don't know if we're gonna find out more about this story because they might be like lost episodes to us, or
So
I have
I'm
to.
wondering from what I remember from reading the book, if this is why Tonio in that other episode in the first episode you watched, if this
Mhm.
is why Tonio is still a part of the company, because if the woman said something that I don't think Tonio knew about the whole. I think this whole thing surrounded about around the Lily adoption that
Okay.
everybody and their mother knows about.
Yeah. Right. The town's worst kept secret.
Yeah, it sounds worse kept secret. Everybody knows except for Lily at this point.
E- Emma mentions, like, talks about John with Iva, or Josh, I'm sorry,
Mhm.
um, and him, like, not inheriting the farm, and he's all mad about it or something. Um, I put everyone's flirting with Dusty. Shannon was, like, flirting with them and some other lady. Because he's so cute and he's so sweet,
He has the bluest eyes. Like,
right? Um, Rod asks Betsy, which is Rod is Josh,
Rod
right?
is Josh, yes.
Rod asks Betsy about her status, um, that she's married, and she's like she's married, and he's like pretty much crushing on her.
She's
Um,
crushing on him too.
hmm Craig talks to Tonio at Mona Lisa's, tries to kick him out. He brings up Clifford Breyer's widow and the journal she gave to Iva. So that, I guess that has to do with, like you said,
Mhm.
Lily's thing. So I guess Tony is close to finding out. I don't think he actually knows yet, though,
Yeah.
that Lucinda is not her real mom.
Mhm.
So he just has like all this stuff, but like nothing,
Yeah.
concrete.
That's so I'm thinking like a month from now in April that he knows, and that's why he's still in the company despite the fact that he's divorced from Sierra.
Mm, that makes sense. So yeah, Brian and Beatrice are off to their honeymoon, and I guess never to be heard from again.
Never, never, never. Are they the first characters that left while we're watching this? And
I
we're not counting. We're
maybe
not going to count Emily and James because I know they. I'm sure they come back.
right because they'll be back at some point.
Well, Rick. Yeah, I don't think Rick's coming back.
Oh, really?
I don't think he's coming back. No, I don't
They
even
just
remember
talk.
this character
They
from.
just talk about them.
Yeah, I don't even think I remember this character from like. In fact,
Wow.
I didn't even know Barbara had a brother, so that tells you a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's sad because I feel like they could have probably
Yeah.
used him, especially if it was a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tonya sees Meg. Dusty talks to Emma about John. I have Lila sings Heart.
Lila
So
sings.
I did look up Lila because I was so curious about if she had a Broadway like career, and I didn't see any signs that she was on Broadway, which is crazy to me.
That's crazy.
Right? She still acts today. She was on As the World Turns from 81 to 2000. She
On and
has
off
seven,
after a certain point, because
she has 73 credits and still is in like a lot of Hallmark movies.
hmm.
So yeah, that was interesting. She's 74 years old. But yeah, like I was trying to look up, I'm like, how does this woman have like a killer voice and no music career from what I could tell?
Yeah.
I
Or
don't
even
know.
like broad like musicals or something. Like
Right? I don't know. Yeah, that's what I thought but I guess maybe she was more into acting because she does have
yeah.
74 credits under her belt. I don't know. It's crazy to me though because I'm like, her voice is killer. I would like have gone to see her in concert.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, like I can't even find like a CD. Like, you know what I mean? Like you would think. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy to me. Um, oh, so when Brian gets to wherever they're at, where are they at? Edinburgh? I don't know,
Edinburgh,
Scotland.
yeah.
Um, he brings her to her mama, Mary, which I thought was sweet.
Yep, tie that bow. Like
I know, right? Emma tells John that she believes him. Looks like he and Lucinda banged out their problems and got married. That's what I put. So I guess that was the like
cliffhanger.
so yeah, yeah. So I'm so confused. Like I guess was that like an off-screen marriage, and just to like
Yeah.
shock everybody?
I know. So usually off-screen marriages. Let's talk a little bit about off-screen marriages. Usually off-screen marriages means that like, oh, we're gonna just divorce him in like 6 months.
Hmm.
But spoiler alert, they're gonna be married for a while.
Really
Yep. And they become like
interesting.
a I want to say like super couple, but they become a pretty popular couple. Like
I
I
was gonna
remember
say, was it like a marriage made in hell, or
kind of like that, yeah, kind of like that, like a marriage made in hell. But then they love each other, but they're like you know budding personalities and stuff like that. Like I think they even adopt the daughter.
Hmm.
Hmm.
All
Yeah.
right. The next episode I have is April 10th. Did
Uh-huh.
you watch that then? Okay.
Yes.
So April 10th, which it seems like so much happened, but not really. At the same as I knew what was happening.
Hmm.
Um, Meg and Sierra talk about Tonio. She warns her. Meg says she is more like Tonio. Um, I guess Sierra's trying to like be like, "Oh, Tonio's not good for you," and she's like, "Well, I'm a lot like him, so I'm gonna be with him."
Hmm.
And says that she's like and they don't give up. Whatever they want, they get, that type of thing. Which isn't true because doesn't Meg want Dusty and she don't have him?
Well, she also wants the high life. She's not one of those. She's one of those
Mhm.
people who are poor but want more out of life than being poor, like Erica.
Yeah. Iva dumped Craig, we find out.
Hmm.
Um, she says that he's still in love with Sierra, which we all know.
We all know that.
Craig comes to Betsy's. Doesn't seem like he's really not into Rod. I guess he just like has a bad feeling about him.
Hmm.
He just doesn't like him for some reason. Um, Kim and Bob mentioned that John and Lucinda are on their honeymoon.
Hmm.
We still have Holden being a jealous fool because
Oh God.
he's mad that Dusty always has to tag along with him and Lily, and she's always just like, he's my friend, like whatever. I mean, I guess I can see if he
I
is
get
always
it,
there.
but I also shut up, Holden.
Yeah, he's threatened by him. That's all.
And now, part two of As the World Turns.
But Holden just shows it too much, and it's annoying. Um, Margot questions Paul about the PO box. He doesn't give any information. He acts like he knows nothing.
Hmm.
Um,
Josh is not related to Iva. Josh is not even a Snyder technically, so because I did
he's really,
slip in that like in a later episode or earlier episode, whatever the order is, we don't know.
yeah,
That I think Holden mentions that like he won't that Uncle Henry who died, and that's why Uncle Henry's important because because we were questioning like why is this Uncle Henry person important? Do we care? Uncle
right,
Henry is not Josh Rod's father or Rod Josh's father. He's adopted.
okay.
So
Oh,
and Iva is also adopted. So she's not a Snyder technically, which means that when the secret comes out, whenever that secret comes out, because I'm not going to say what the date is, but we're coming close on it. According,
so this is a very layered storyline
it's
then.
a very layered storyline.
It's
Yes. So when
yeah,
Sarah comes
it's
out, she's going to think that she's related to the Snyders, but technically she's not related to the Snyders. She's only related by adoption, which is
well,
why things are complicated on soaps.
right. Seriously, this is really complicated. But
Yeah.
anyway, like to all this to say that Franny is not defending him, but
Hmm.
like saying that he probably has deeper issues and he probably needs to get help.
Hmm.
Where Seth is like,
I just want to get
uh, right, I don't care because he raped my sister type thing.
love.
So he ain't having it. She sees things very differently. And I really like that about this soap. Like I feel like that is a very that would cause a rift, like that's a
That would.
between a couple, like feeling that way. So we have Duncan is around. He has a patch on his eye. Do you know what happened to
I don't know why he got. I don't know why he's now Patch Johnson. I don't know.
him? He has a patch and he's talking with some lady. I didn't know who the lady was.
That wasn't even
Um,
Jeff Shannon, was it?
well, no, Shannon's jealous of him talking to this lady.
Oh, was this? This was he wasn't talking with. I might have missed this part.
I put
Okay.
Shannon seems jealous, and then I have Lily is annoyed with Holden for making Dusty feel unwelcome to dinner.
Hmm.
Um, Rod mentions to Betsy she is backing down with Steve. I guess because like Steve just keeps pushing her off, and he's like, "What is wrong with you? Like, why wouldn't you like fight for what you want? You're supposed to go there, go there. Like, what is
Hmm.
happening?" I feel the same way in this storyline. I'm like, "Bitch, get it together. What are you doing?"
Right.
um, and he said something about, yeah, like she's like, I always compromise, because like, or my marriage wouldn't work out. Like,
Hmm.
you got to do what I got to do. Rod leaves before Betsy comes back. I guess like he just feels like he made it an uncomfortable situation for her and just rolled out when she went and checked on the baby. Lily calls Dusty to come to Mona Lisa's. He says no. He feels not welcome there. I put Holden acts a fool
Hmm.
again.
Okay.
Craig tries to help. Lily goes off. Craig calls Iva about Lily. He's like, "Hey, just giving you a heads up. Might need you."
Hmm.
Tonio and Barbara have an exchange of words, just like, I don't know, just like bullshit, I guess.
Yeah.
Sierra Sierra wonders why Craig called Iva about Lily. Iva goes to find Lily and sees
Mm.
Rod, Josh Rod,
Josh Rod.
and that's all I have for that one. Betsy and Rod talk about. Oh, this is another one. Like she says, like that James Stenbeck, whatever, will never be able to change. And then he gets a little weird. He gets like defensive or something. Like, hey,
Hmm.
people can change. Like, why would you think that? Which I guess means that he did rape Iva. And he
Yeah.
changed probably for the better. I
Hmm.
don't know if it's once he found out about Lily or what was happening
So
with
he
that.
doesn't know at this point about Lily. I mean, he knows. He knows Lily exists, but he doesn't know that Lily is his daughter. In fact, he doesn't even know he has a kid.
Really? Because in this episode, I feel like we got that he does know.
Oh, never mind, never mind. You know what I read? I read the reveal wrong. So you're right. You're
Because
right.
remember, like, he at the one part or whatever, he says, "How do I make up for lost time?" or something when she goes off. That's when I found out because I was like, "Oh, okay," because I didn't know myself
Hmm.
until that happened, and I was like, "Oh, aha moment." So, yeah, so Rod and Betsy are kind of going at it because
Hmm.
she's just saying, James will never change. Where he's like, "Yeah, we got to give people the benefit of the doubt." Obviously, talking about
Hmm.
himself. Um, And then Sierra comes through and breaks that up.
Hmm.
Lucinda and John are getting ready for their honeymoon. Um, Craig confronts her with all the secrets being under control. Lucinda, that is. He's like, you seem to have everything under control,
Hmm.
which is, I don't know. Lucinda should be terrified, like, but she's
I would be
gonna
terrified. I'd be
go
like, look. I'd be like, look. I'm just gonna reveal everything. It's
right.
whoever gets mad gets mad.
Right? She must have nightmares. Or she's just like such a strong person. Like I don't know. I don't understand this end up.
I don't.
But I'd be like, yeah, 25 people in town know about the secret. And you're
Hmm.
going on your honeymoon. Whatever,
Half
girl.
of the cast, mind you.
Do you, boo?
I think the only people who
um,
don't know are like Jessica or the police department,
right?
aside from Margot. But
Um, she says, oh, she says to Craig, like, she's like, I would have supported you and Sierra more. Um, so you would have a good life together. I guess because she interfered in their relationship, I'm assuming at some point, which we didn't see.
hmm.
John comes in, says that Bob found Rick, and he confessed to everything. So I
Hmm.
guess I don't know. We don't know if this is off camera or if she actually did find him and talk to
Yeah,
him.
we don't know if we saw him again.
We don't know.
I know for the two of us, we'll
Um,
never see him again.
yeah, yeah, right. Craig and Sierra discuss baby names, and she decides to give Craig's what is it? Craig's middle name
Bryant.
to the baby,
Hmm.
which I
So
thought was a
it's
sweet
Craig
moment.
Bryant Montgomery.
Mm. Lisa goes to see Taylor, the new doctor in town. Meg tells Lila and Casey she is dating Tonio. See, like, some of the things like kind of go with the storyline, you know. So like I couldn't tell if it came before or after, only with the honeymoon talk. So it's really confusing. But at the same time, like I did get the gist of everything going on,
Yeah.
you know, even watching them out of order.
Yeah.
And Meg said something along the lines, to Lila, like age doesn't matter, right? You know, like, you know,
Mhm.
because of them, her being involved with Casey, who's like significantly younger than her. So that was pretty funny. And Lila's just like, oh yeah, I guess not. Lisa recommends, as this confused me too. Lisa recommends Shannon as an interior decorator to Taylor. Um,
I didn't know
why
she
is she doing
I didn't know she was
that?
an interior decorator.
That's what I'm confused about. I'm like, is she an interior decorator or does
I,
she want to be one?
I don't even know.
I don't either. It seems like she just wants to be one, and like
I mean, it
Lisa's
makes
just
sense
like,
with the way she dresses, but also it's the '80s, and it's and everybody dresses like that.
yeah, it's really bizarre.
Yeah.
Duncan and Shannon talk about redecorating the castle. A falcon escapes, and Duncan's like, "Oh,
This
that's a curse if we don't catch it." I'm like, what is happening with this show? I'm very confused with some of these things. Rod apologizes to Betsy for going off on her earlier, and she apologizes back. She feels bad, even though she didn't do anything to
Yeah.
apologize for. I mean, she just felt strongly in her opinion,
Hmm.
whatever. Um, but I feel like she deserves an apology for sure,
Yeah.
the way he went off. But whatever. They both make up, kind of.
Hmm.
Craig tells Sierra her mom admitted she was wrong to keep them apart. Lucinda goes on about Puerto Vallarta, where they're going on their honeymoon.
Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto
The way
Vallarta.
she says it.
Um, oh, her, and she was talking about it with that girl Jane. I guess her coworker or cohort, whatever she is.
Yeah. What was the one? Is she the one that like was at the wedding?
I think so.
Yeah.
Lucinda and Antonio have words, and she slaps them.
Mm.
And she
First
says
time.
something along, and she says she wishes the baby was Sierra's. Or not Sierra's. That is Sierra's. Craig's. um, Taylor talks to Lila, mentions Casey. Lila says he never mentioned her name.
Mm.
See, and this is where stuff might be out of order for us, where we don't know exactly, you know, when this Taylor came and who she's talking to. But she is very intrusive about, like knowing what's going on with Casey for some reason.
Hmm.
Again, I don't know if they just dated. I don't know the situation.
Think yeah.
Uh,
I'm saying I'm not saying. I'm thinking that they might have just dated. I don't think they were married or anything like that.
okay. Um, Shannon and
Just
Duncan continue
speculation.
to look for the Falcon. They bring up the Falcon ring, but I guess nobody ever caught this Falcon ring thing, so that's still lingering. I
Oh
guess
God,
that I
Falcon.
know.
I was like
Just
this again.
I don't know what's happening. I like whatever. Um, Duncan messes with Shannon, kind of like he like pretends to trip or something.
No,
Or
no, she
she
pushes. So she pushes
right.
him, and he pretends to be knocked out.
Yeah, he was messing with her before that though, and then
Uh huh.
he like wakes up and they kiss. Taylor questions Sierra about Casey. Meg messes with Casey about Taylor. Um, Lucinda and John are on the plane to their honeymoon. Rod reminds Betsy of Steve. What? I don't know what that means. Rod reminds Betsy of Steve. I don't know.
I don't
That's
remember.
what I put down for some reason. Casey confronts Taylor about asking about him. Lisa and Shannon overhear Duncan talking about something going on or whatever at the castle.
I don't know what
Which,
that something is.
yeah, I don't know what that means. But they look like they heard something like, oh, what is he saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Which also makes it look like he's the Falcon, which is confusing.
Can
I
we just
thought
say
that
it's
story was
James?
over. What's that?
Can we just say it's James? Because it's obviously going to be James.
I know. At this point, I don't even care anymore. I'm like, but it's still around, so I want it to be over.
Yeah.
Then we have another random episode in April, I guess, of '87.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's April.
Seth and Emma are talking. He finds out about Meg and Tonio, and he's not pleased.
Mm-hmm.
Craig talks to Tonio about him blackmailing the Snyders and threatens him. Sierra comes in and stops them from fighting. Casey asks why Taylor would be there out of all the hospitals in the world.
Yep. All
Why
the
are you at
hospital. Why you
mine?
got to be at my hospital?
Right. He tells Taylor his and Lila's relationship is none of her business. And it isn't. Who's this girl? Like,
It isn't. No, it isn't. But then he also says that like her father's rich, so that's why she could be in all the hospitals in the world. It's like her father's like a big shot, something
Well,
medical.
yeah, but why would he? Why would she be like after Casey? Like, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't
that's what
know.
I'm wondering.
I feel like something's up with this girl. I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but it's cool because it'll give Lila a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Franny talks Seth down from being mad at Tonio because he's like ready to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Craig is bugged about Tonio. I almost feel like they're setting up like a murder for Tonio.
I know he's around for a while, so I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah, I
I mean,
think I
maybe
looked
get
them up.
shot, but like not murder. At least not for a while. So.
All right, like a who shot Tonio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, Craig wishes he was the baby daddy. Basically, Lisa
Mm-hmm.
asks for Jessica's help in finding about Clifford's murder. I put detective dude thinks that's the guy I couldn't get. Detective dude thinks Paul knows about Stenbeck.
Mm-hmm.
Josh called about what? I put Josh called about suffering. Iva hates him. I guess because I didn't know at that time that Iva was raped by him, so I didn't know like what was happening with that.
Yeah.
Franny and Seth talk about Josh raping Iva, which is when I found out. Because I'm like, why would she hate him so much? I didn't know what happened. Because he seemed like a nice guy to me. Like I didn't know,
Yeah.
what was going on. Um, this is where Franny says, "Are you sure it was rape? Like there could be something more behind it." And this is where her and Seth start kind of getting into it. So I'm guessing
Mm-hmm.
that other episode we talked about was after this one. I'm
Yeah.
not positive though. Um, says maybe he needs help. She seems to understand why people do what they do. Detective asks Jessica out. That's a detective too.
Detective dude.
Hopefully I get his. What would you say his name is again?
I think his name was Roy.
Roy.
I want to say his name was Roy. I'm not 100. I'm not 100% sure.
If any fans are out there watching us, what's his name?
I forgot.
Detective dude.
I forgot. Detective dude. We'll just call him
Cop
Detective
dude.
dude. Detective.
Meg flaunts Tonio around, it seems like. She wants everybody to see her and him together now that she's out with that relationship. Um, Holden holds back because he wants to hit Tony. See, all leading up to. Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe Tonio's going to get shot.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, Tonio wants to buy Meg whatever she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's his name? Josh was around because I put Lily a rape baby question mark because I wasn't positive. I'm just learning about. You see, you knew this stuff. I didn't know some of it.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm not gonna say much.
No, it's fine
Okay,
because I
there we
like
go.
I like being surprised because I had no idea.
There you go. So back to Detective Dude. His name is Roy Franklin.
Okay. So you were right. See that?
Yeah, I was like, I know that name. I know his name is.
You're like Franklin, Roy.
Yeah, we'll just call him Detective Dude because I like that name.
Detective Dude. And he's only Detective Dude around right now, right? Except, I mean, Hal's around, but I feel like Hal doesn't do much in these episodes.
I think Hal's an officer at this point.
Oh, was he only a cop?
I think he's an officer at this point, but I know he goes up the ranks.
Oh, and here's where I mean. So Casey tells Lila he told Taylor that they are lovers. And then I put, why is Lisa saying Shannon can decorate? Because she keeps like pushing. I'm like, what is happening with this? Like, is this supposed to be like a silly side storyline or what? I don't know. Or I don't know. It's weird. Rod talks to Lily and Holden, trying to learn more about her, basically. And that's when I guess he had said like something about being her daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Betsy pushes Craig to Sierra. Franny is upset about Seth. They don't agree on things. That's all I got on that episode. And then I think we only have one more. Yeah. And this one we have a date for April 22nd, 1987.
Yes.
That's where, so all of those episodes, I guess, were between that. Um, it starts out with Lily on the phone with Lucinda.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty brings, so I guess she's still on her honeymoon. Dusty
Mm-hmm.
brings Sierra to the hospital. It looks like she might be getting ready to give birth. I mean, she's been pregnant forever, it feels like, at this point. Um, Holden gets on Iva about Lily. I put baby time. Sierra is in labor, possibly.
Possibly.
Uh, Betsy and Rod talk about trust. So yeah, they're still like growing closer that we see, and I guess she's getting further and further from Steve because
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand that. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to know, and if you could help me out in the comments, because I don't fully know what happened with the actor who played Steven, if he quit or if he got fired or something happened where they were trying to maybe try and kind of like with Tom, like they basically held the role for 6 months to see if like the guy
Right.
would come back, and then that's when they recast him with Scott Holmes. But I feel like it's different. This is different. I feel like they're like I wonder if like because I never saw him and Lindsay Frost together. I wonder if after Meg Ryan left, who previously played Betsy, they were chem testing Steve and Betsy with Lindsay Frost, and they weren't working, but they wanted to keep Lindsay Frost. This is me speculating. They wanted to keep Lindsay Frost, and the actor was like, "Oh, I need, something happened and I need to leave or whatever." Because like
Yeah.
it's kind of weird that we're still hearing about Steve and he's not on screen.
Lily told Holden she doesn't like fighting and violence, which is what he's doing all the time because he's mad at Dusty. And he actually is actually pretty sweet with her in this episode. He says, "Tap on the wall if you ever need me." Blah blah blah. Lily says that she's comfortable with Rod. Like, um, I guess I forget who she's talking to. Oh yeah, to Iva she's talking to, and
Yeah,
Iva's
that's
like,
what and I was
like,
like,
uh, Betsy and Rod get closer. It seems they talk about making mistakes, whatever. Sierra giving birth. I put. I wasn't sure if she was giving birth. Craig and Dusty are there. He calls Betsy. She heads over with Rod. We find out it's actually just pressure pains and not labor. Um,
but she is on her 9th month, so we'll be
Craig
seeing
wants.
little Bryant soon.
Craig says he wants to be the baby daddy. I don't remember if he says it to someone or just by himself. Um, Hal tells Barbara that they will get James, and he's basically like comforting her, and
Mm-hmm.
he says we'll keep him away from you and Paul. Bob and Kim, we find out, are going back to London. to get to know Sabrina better and like I guess
Mhm.
find out more about her life there because she's still there.
Mhm.
I put Paul is acting suspicious. Um, he's in denial about his bad daddy.
Bad daddy.
He brings and he brings up. Oh, he's fighting with Barbara. He brings up
Yep.
Barbara's affair with Tonio, and she ends up slapping him.
Slaps him. Oh my
Damn,
god, that was so good.
it was. I liked it.
That was so good. I
But
just
Paul is acting out, so
and I like
that,
and I like the actor who plays Paul too. I
shit's
think
gonna go down with Paul
he's my
soon.
favorite. He's one of my favorite Pauls of the show.
Hopefully we get to see him. Like whatever goes down with this whole James stuff.
Mhm.
Kim tells Barbara to accept Sabrina, or she isn't welcome there. I really like
That
this
was also
conversation.
good.
It was good. And I said Kim gets stern with Barbara because she mentions that like Sabrina was a mistake. She doesn't say it like
Mhm.
that, but she basically says you made a mistake.
Mhm.
And she's like, no, no, no. This was not a mistake.
This is not a mistake.
I like that.
I
I
now
was like, yeah,
the
Kim.
only thing missing from that is her calling her toots. Because that's when she gets mad. She calls everybody toots.
Does she? That's
Yep.
funny. I didn't see that. Um, and she said something along the lines of like, Jen forgave Jennifer, the other, what's her name's mom? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Franny's
Brian.
mom
Yeah.
forgave her. And it was not a mistake.
Mhm.
Then Bob's about to go away and finds out they're going to name John Dixon chief of staff.
And I like his reaction. He's like,
Oh,
oh, wait.
yep.
I might
And
post that
then,
on Twitter.
at the right. And at the end, we find out John and Lucinda return. They're outside the
Return.
door. I guess they didn't want to pay them for this episode because they're.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yep.
There was some good stuff. I liked it.
Very good stuff. Like, whew.
It's just a shame we don't know the order to watch these things.
Yeah. But do you have anything else to add?
No, I'm excited to see more. Hopefully, we have more episodes in proper order. I guess I'll try to we'll try to watch it like in the way it's like
Mhm.
listed and see if that works.
Yeah.
And
And then we'll just piece together the puzzle. Like,
so yeah, we put it together. We like to try to be the best we can on here,
yeah.
So we have finality for these fans that like to watch us or listen
Yeah.
to us.
All right. For that being said, you can follow us on our socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, bye.
Bye.